That's good. First thing is approve the minutes of December 27th. Paul, you weren't here, so
I
the,
can't say anything about it.
I make a motion, we approve the minutes.
okay. 3-0. Ryan, it's your update.
Yeah, so there's not much going on. We got a tour tomorrow. We're gonna meet here at noon. There's a lot of stairs, so wear some comfortable shoes.
We need hard hats, ear protectors.
So they will supply, I mean, if you have your own personal stuff, go ahead and use it. But they will supply us. So last time I just touched on the proposal I received from facility in Auburn. I ran some numbers. We're gonna save about, if we go with a 3-year contract, we're gonna save $24 a ton. If we go with a 5-year contract that they offered, we're gonna save $27 a ton.
What is that worth?
That's for trash disposal.
That sounds like a lot.
That is,
What's that amount to over a year?
well, we typically do between 250 and 275 tons a year.
So like 20% savings, it seems like.
Probably $7,000 or $8,000.
Good.
I don't want to get too deep into it because I haven't talked to the town manager about it.
Yeah, have you done things like talk to other towns that use them? And I mean, it's still on a par with
Yeah,
what
so
we've got. I mean, we're not lessening quality or anything.
no, not at all.
Okay.
And I tried to go with this outfit 2 years ago. It didn't happen.
Why didn't it happen?
The bid came in too late.
Oh, okay.
Saturday. We hope that
What's the name of that facility again? I'm not remembering off the top,
it's MWAC,
which stands for.
Main Waste Energy. Okay.
We appreciate the information. Do you need anything from us?
No.
I didn't think so.
No.
I didn't get a chance to see you on yesterday, to talk about the compactor. Maybe tomorrow while we're walking around, I can pick your brain for a couple of things and put it together. When does it look like that's gonna be in use? Have you solved the heating block? Well, it's a Saturday.
That's what I'm shooting for. We'll see. It all depends on how long the tour takes tomorrow.
I know we're going. The Zoom says that it's waiting for the host, but the scheduled date says December 13th from somebody that's trying to dial in. So I don't know why it says it's waiting for the host. I mean, obviously we can see.
See anybody like. Run link right. There's only one participant. That's us.
Yeah, there's someone that's trying to get in. But it also says the scheduled date says December 13th. I don't know what that is, because that's not us. Don't worry about it too much. I just wanted to. If you double checked.
No, try. I mean, it's right there, top right hand corner. We're the only participant.
Yeah, interesting,
Nobody in the waiting room?
because we usually do have more. Not to make sure that when we do the 24th, that we're 100%. Because I'm assuming that we will have people joining on Zoom as well as I hope we'll have people here.
Brian, out of curiosity, if would it be possible for me to just meet you over there? Meet everyone over there rather than meet up here? just so I'm gonna go north to go south. Yeah.
Yeah, you can. Parking is real tight over there. That's the only. I was hoping we could get people piled in as few vehicles as we could. Pat's seen it. We almost. We almost didn't have a place to park last time. We took the last parking spot.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, maybe you'll have to park out on the street.
Oh, man. You're telling me. That probably bother me.
Um. Anything else going on, Brian, that we should know about or?
No. We have nothing else for you.
Okay, next items, these were copied from last meeting because we did not hit on them, we just kind of bounced over them. Timing of the miscellaneous deliveries. And that's the trash tag subsidy program and the self-sustaining trash tag price. And there's one other that needs to be added to there, and that is the report for the town. What's the booklet at town meeting? Yeah, the town report. Okay, the trash tag subsidy and the program and the self-sustaining trash tags, as we mentioned in our working session, probably another, couple of weeks. I may have them ready by our next meeting, but our next meeting is the public hearing. I mean, we certainly can talk about something other than the public hearing at the end. But hopefully they'll be done by then. I've been a little busy.
Yeah, you have done.
So
Well. No, it's. Shook my afternoon.
So both of those are looking, I should have something ready by next meeting and we'll figure how to do that. Last thing is the report. I don't know what kind of input, but Nicole has asked, and I guess the chairs of all committees are asked to write a little blurb or something for the town report. And so she's asked me to put something together. The interesting thing to me on that is going to be, first off, if you guys have any ideas, would love to hear. And I was just going to say, here's what we've been doing. But if it goes in the town report, we're also hoping to have the town ordinance ready. So do we reference that there's a town ordinance with the anticipation that it's there, kind of thing?
I would think so.
Yeah.
When does the town report come out?
It comes out and ready for the town meeting, which this year is June 1st.
Sometimes it's only a week before.
But
Yeah,
but the printing of it has to go to print. What did you say? It goes to print in March?
Well, so no, it won't be March.
And I know
It'll
Nicole has
probably be
asked
May.
for it. Yeah, Nicole has asked for it fairly soon, so.
The budget won't be figured out until probably April.
So I'll start drafting something again. Generally, they just ask the chairs to do it, but I would love if you guys have any thoughts. So hopefully on the 24th, maybe I'll have a draft of that and you guys can do bits. Yeah. All right, now the big piece of it, and that is the ordinance. So it's section 8 that we're reviewing, not section 7. It's just. That was my brain. So first thing is to take a look at things that have been redlined to make sure that those are reflective of what we had talked about. I did a find and replace. Any place that said town of Bodenham just said town. Any place that said board of selectmen, we decided to go with select board. There's some places that there's one place that says the internet site, and we decided just to use the term website, which is a defined term. So that's it. First red line change that we come to that are not the find and replace kind of things is the force majeure. Interesting. Force majeure, what I found in most of the stuff that's really more a contracting versus an ordinance term.
Yeah, it is.
I tweaked it. I think that when we send this for legal review, it will be interesting to hear what the attorneys say. I've made the force majeure obviously just one-sided because it's just, what ours should be and have tried to, I think in my note back, I said, tried to make it very, very simple. If the town cannot adhere to this ordinance in part or whole or force majeure, the town could be exempted in part or in whole according to the influence of force majeure. So, I said, I grabbed something and edited it. So does that work for folks for the most part?
Would we just say emergency?
Why would we do that?
The best force we do is, a sphere term for most people.
It's a defined term and it's a very legal term.
You did give a definition on anything.
I would rather be more precise because, emergency, what is that? I mean, what is your emergency? What is, something that's an emergency to one person may not be to other. It becomes-
As you said, now, natural disasters, epidemics, civil unrest. Things like that are pretty well covered.
Well, that is including but not limited to,
Right.
because you never know what else is gonna be. There are some,
Someone's going out of business for having a health issue here.
yeah.
I don't know. We do run for so.
That could be a cause of civic unrest.
Well, I'm just like this, it's an unforeseen circumstance. I mean, if our solar supplier, had an issue, then. What can you do? What can you do? By the way, I can't join Heather Bryan, just so you know. I tried it, didn't take it.
Okay, leave it.
And the rest of the red lines.
Number 6, the numbering seems to go a little skewy. After 6.1, it goes to 6.23 and then 6.34.
It really, that's the red line. The 2 was in, the 3 was deleted. And there's a little line through the 3, there should be a little line through the 4, and you can't see the little line.
Yeah, I can't see that.
So those are red lines. It was because we got rid of the old 6.2. Burning is now 6.2, and there's a little line through the 3.
Do have a question on 6, the transfer station, the town shall maintain a licensed transfer station. We're recommending that. Should that be in the ordinance itself?
I think part of our discussion was I mean, let's talk about that. I thought that we had decided we really want to make sure that the town does a transfer station and it's got all the stuff that it needs to.
I think it should.
Yeah, so we don't have one right now.
Mhm.
Do you have any update on when you're gonna have figures for us on that, Brian?
I haven't heard from any of the contractors.
I thought we were gonna do in-house.
I was ordered to. I have to have 3. I have to contact 3 contractors
Okay.
because it's over $5,000.
Oh, it's,
I have to have bids. To 3 contractors.
it is gonna be, you think even if we do it in-house, it's gonna be more than that?
You can't do anything for less than 5,000 unless it stays. Yeah, if you're moving around.
Culverts, gravel. That's, culverts are probably $500 a pop right now. Or more.
And we need, what, a couple of them? So
Only
that's
3.
So that's 1,500.
Yeah, and then there's 500 for singles, annual, there's, it's gonna be more than $5,000.
And it doesn't have to be fenced, he said.
No, because we have a natural barrier. We do have to have a gate.
Right,
Yeah,
We have to have a locked gate.
but it has to have a separate entrance, so you can't get at it directly from public work.
well, I think that's what he's talking about, the gravel and the culverts
Right.
report.
In my mind.
Before we get to the transfer station, because I think you're right, we ought to talk about that. Let's just make sure construction waste is the changes that are there is what we, at the discretion of the solid waste department, we put in there construction waste. And then I did catch, there's a from time to time that I didn't eliminate, and I've got red line through here, so I'll update that. And then, so those are okay. Okay, transfer station. I mean, my thought is we really. I mean, even at $5,000, given the flexibility it allows us, given, the service it allows us, that it ought to be something that we have. And
I agree.
putting it in if it's only in there is that we may have, it's gonna be one of those things that gets tweaked around.
Mhm.
So that was why I approached it this way. That said, that, I mean, it may be better off the way you're talking. I just didn't want it to get politicized and yanked around us, but what do you guys think?
Like I said, I think the town could have.
Yeah.
Should have a licensed transfer station. But I always kind of look for. Well, I guess it can change, they can change it, select board can change it at any time if they want with a
Yeah, and
public, so.
So you're gonna figure it with a public
Yeah,
call.
I would draw mine.
Any thoughts?
Keep it.
Okay.
Minor typo.
Maybe you've got good eyes for the typos.
Here it says non-standard trash, and the definition, it's non-standard rubbish, and I think it's rubbish everywhere else.
I think you're right. I think you're right. Thanks. Excuse me. Goods left roadside, we changed to the roadside end of the driveway. And then since it's 1 month of a typo, it should be 1 month singular, month plural. You did catch between 6.6 and 6.7, there needs to be spacing, it's just formatting. We don't have compostable material language, we didn't talk about it last time, we probably should put something in. I don't wanna make it up, Brian, what do we put in? I actually defined compostable materials,
Brian, you went to school for this.
yeah,
Should
what do we?
Maybe accepted at the transfer stations.
may be accepted then.
Yeah.
At the discretion of the. Solid waste manager.
Okay, so. If you remember back a couple meetings, I told you that the US EPA is looking to cease all organics in landfills by 2040.
It's gotta go somewhere.
Last week they went to 2030 for 50% down. So they want to hit 50% by 2030. And then total organics will, by 2040.
And that's terrific,
It just means we need to start thinking about it,
but what language do we put in here to cover what we're going to say and do? I mean, someone, I don't know, Paul, if it was you or Pat, as to maybe accepted at, town facility, as determined by solid waste. I mean, just what do we?
Yeah, because I don't want to have anything odd brought in and I'm tied to taking it.
Why don't we put it?
Well,
How about?
since, is there gonna be much difference between compostable material and lawn waste? Grass clippings, weed,
I mean, we put comparable stuff we have right now.
Waste.
waste, brush.
We wouldn't be composting brush.
How about certain compostable materials will be accepted?
May be accepted. Listen,
Well, if we say certain materials will be accepted, then it doesn't, see per solid waste
the
department,
discretion of,
let's see website. For particulars.
I wanna take brush. And we have a chipper, so I wanna, you know, maybe able to do a mulch type thing also
That would be
to
kind
get
of,
back to the community and,
that would be lawn waste.
right.
Um, so should we say, you know, certain lawn waste will be acceptable, the same thing? As we just kind of mirror the language there?
Well, I don't think I would throw brush under lawn waste. Lawn waste is like leaves and grass clippings and which can be used for composting, but brush is a different story and you start
Yeah.
getting, you know,
Right.
stumps and
Right now, the lawn waste definition includes shrubs, branches, trees, and unfinished wood. Wood.
really.
That's just, you know, what,
They also include material including brush,
That's
stumps,
just-
soil material, and rocks.
that's just what's been. Again, when we get to definitions, that stuff that was I pulled from another ordinance.
Yeah.
But can we say certain lawn waste will be accepted?
Yeah.
You know, so it would mirror the same languages we would use for compostable, certain compostable will be accepted. Per that, see the website for literation. What this is gonna mean is when we get to the communication piece, which we keep talking about, we're gonna really need to put our heads together and say, what are the different pieces that we need? We talked about resources so that we'll have something there so people will know if you have a, you know, livestock death, there's a place that can take care of, I mean, just resources, listing of what's acceptable, what's not acceptable. There's also, you're gonna want somewhere to have kind of a master list so that you know what to change and how you can change it. To keep track of it, you know, it's gonna need to be living documents, so we're gonna have to, as we get to communication pieces, that's just something to keep in mind. But for now, we can just.
Can we write lawn waste into compostable waste?
Those are, again, as we talked about, two separate things, because you can have food waste, which right now we accept because it goes to them.
Compostable is going to include lawn waste and other stuff.
Why would we want to make the category, I mean, right now, we've already stretched the category of lawn waste to include things like grass clippings and stuff like that, as well as shrubbery and stuff that's been closed and, or, I mean, stuff that's been from cleared land. Now we want to include everything?
I think the definition we've got for lawn waste is way too extensive.
So then you want to put compostable and lawn waste and make it even more extensive?
No.
I'm not following.
Compostable would include lawn waste. Because all lawn waste would be compostable. So compostable would consist of lawn waste and other materials.
My opinion is that's too broad, because we do have compostable, you've got food waste and you've got lawn waste. Also,
What are they doing compostable?
I think there's a reason that the majority of other ordinances separate them out as well.
Not gonna die on that day. It just seems.
Brian, I think that's most of the reason for, because we only collected leaves at the barn, right?
Leaves and grass.
What was the background about that?
That's all that they wanted. I mean, it wasn't my decision at that time.
Where'd it go? So it's just kind of piled up, I was just curious.
People would come and take it for mulch.
Yeah, I took 2 bucket loads and it killed the plants. I did. Says I'll never do that again. So years.
I mean, there was all kinds of stuff thrown in that hillside.
Yeah.
Christmas trees.
Yeah, it was,
Okay, just curious.
yeah.
So where are we landing on this?
Leave them set.
Where are we landing on lawn waste versus brush clearing.
I don't think brush is lawn waste. No.
Yeah, we
Right.
don't have anywhere in the ordinance that talks about brush,
Right.
which is why I
Do we have it
folded it in.
under burning?
Can that get under compostable materials, certain materials may be accepted? And just kind of go from there. Brian puts out a thing saying we're now, accepting brush that we can chip up.
You can put something like other materials accepted at the discretion of solid waste director.
Cause you don't want a lot of tree branches and stuff.
I don't want stumps.
No, that.
I don't want, I mean, we can chip up to 6 inch, diameter, but
Yeah, you want.
assuming the chipper runs.
Right.
Then you'd have to put some limits on. Yeah.
Some of the other town ordinances do have limits. I don't know if we want to.
Yeah, cause you don't wanna like
Maybe accepted at the discretion.
a tree company. Coming in and say, oh, I chippers full, here you go.
Right. Labby's old pit in Bowden there, they accept stumps and, clearings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's not cheap. I don't know what the dollar figure is, but it's not cheap.
I like the catch-all phrase of may accept certain materials. That kind of leaves you, then you can kind of tweak it as you go, so,
Exactly,
or this week we cannot accept branches because the chipper doesn't work.
Yeah, the way we put it in is certain compostable will be accepted. And by saying certain compostable, that covers, so we use will. But it says certain,
Right.
so it's kind of the
Right,
same.
it would be I got you. Yep.
Is that okay? So-
yes.
Leave as is, bust from lawn waste, make another category for. Oh, towns call it for. I can find it, towns calls it pretty easily.
Woody material.
Stump waste, what Buxton calls it, stump dump waste, that's Buxton.
yeah, I don't want that stuff.
Wood
Tree and brush waste,
wastes is Savannah's.
yep, tree and brush, yeah, Zabadis's. Wood wastes. But if we're gonna make another category, we'll have to put it on the ordinance and in the definitions. So stump dump waste in, out, just part of lawn waste, and lawn waste says certain materials. And on the website, you're what's acceptable as lawn waste,
Right.
stumps are not acceptable.
Stumps are not.
So when we get to. Well, I'm sure when we get to the definition, that would take the stumps out,
No rocks.
something rock.
You're,
Yeah, rock should be in, or I just, again, I pulled that off of somebody else, but you're right, that's a good catch. Waste generated, that was just our discussion that was pulled from someplace else and put in. I think we're still calling it rubbish.
Right.
These are all the other changes, red lines.
7.1.1 containers.
Yes.
Containers of rubbish to be disposed of roadside. Just be collected at roadside.
I think I pulled that from the Bowden current ordinance.
Right.
Dispose of, collected, I mean, nothing else should be there, I don't.
Well, we've got other language saying you can't dump stuff by the road.
Mhm.
So you have container
So we
to
can
be collected.
I like that.
collect it, yeah. To be,
so that should be 25 pounds.
Yeah, it is now.
yeah, it is. Can we change that?
Okay.
As in the right. Okay, if I'm fine,
Well,
motion, no,
and the other thing is prior to 13, so.
we,
30.
we.
13,
13.
not 30.
No, no, toss that in front of them.
Thank you.
All right, well, where are we? 13, or, yeah, okay. Thank you.
And sorry, I'm just catching this. Where it says municipal hauler. What would that? What's the other budget?
We said commercial hauler, I think we took out municipal hauler, that was 7.4.
But it's elsewhere in here, where did I just see that?
7.4 was eliminated. Because we talked about eliminating it.
70, yeah, we did.
7.4.
1-1, yeah, still. The 711 need to be last sentence, last line.
Oh, yeah,
Does that municipal hauler now need to be commercial?
no,
No, because commercial haulers
um,
will be
How about we just say-
dumpsters, which are bigger than 30 pounds. Yeah.
why don't we just say town appointed haulers or,
Okay. I'm just gonna be removing
Oh,
the
we could-
definition, so I was just curious if we want.
Well, we could leave,
that term.
we could leave municipal hauler here, give it a definition and leave out a separate section for it.
To do that too.
yeah, which one do you want to do? Town appointed haulers in the language or municipal haulers in the definition?
Town appointed is one less thing to write per definition, so that works for me.
Okay.
Less words is good.
7.1.4, it says materials not subject to curbside collection. I just made a note that should probably be solid waste, not subject to roadside collection. Um, white goods,
Let's back up a bit. Private ways. Residents on private roads can receive trash pickup by bringing their trash. Is it gonna be rubbish? Trash,
yeah, I should do a.
search and replace. Is right there in space.
In the
That red line shows that that's been corrected. I did
Oh,
catch
it's
that.
in red one.
I know.
Okay.
Right, I'm trying to get to the point we haven't even looked at yet, so. Let's see, white goods, again, this is maybe exciting. By. Yes, I've done it, the solid waste department. Commercial hauler. That's just. And then commercial hauler fees. Now, one of the things in the commercial hauler fees, based on our discussion. What I did with this language is I said that the fee itself, we're not going to specify in here. So that it's changeable, but I also said, and hopefully try to get some. Fees from the dump guys or whoever, the ones that are avoiding you. Saying that the fees are different depending on whether it's a single. Pickup or a, an annual kind of thing. Or a routine kind of thing, and hopefully that will help dump guys. Be a little more amenable to, not, taking your calls and providing you with data. And then reporting parameters established by the solid waste director. So they must report on activity each year based on reporting parameters that you've established. And then just the one-time fee shall differ. So right now it's $100, so maybe $100 for the Riverside, the people that do it on a weekly basis, and maybe the dump guys $50 a year for however many times they come in, or whatever you guys think is appropriate. I don't think we need to set those fees on this committee.
All right.
So that gives you the ability to do that. To be flexible. All right, Anything else before we get on to 8, which is where, I mean, we haven't even touched that stuff.
Quick one on 7.4,
Yep.
will be accepted.
Oh, so that says other sound items subject to this provision will be published on the town's website. So it's saying so like, we become the transfer station. One of the things that we'll accept will be mattresses and furniture and stuff like that, but the stuff that won't be accepted won't be on that list.
Okay.
And I think on that list, what I would also recommend is, if in doubt, call and talk before you bring it. And that should be on the list that's published, so.
And that's what we do now. If somebody has something that's not on our current list, just give us a call.
Yeah, and that should be listed boldly on that revised list. Here are the things that we accept. If you have any question on your item, please feel free to call at, 666, call trash or whatever.
Definitely, side note, I am constantly amazed by the people put out on the Facebook page, is the town office open? Will recycling take this or that?
Right. Call us.
Yeah.
Call us.
Yeah.
7.4 will be accepted as the designated town facility, which is capitalized.
Oh, yeah, so the town facility would either.
It's gonna be either a recycling center or a transfer station. In this case, it would be a transfer station.
Anything else on the stuff that we already done, just to tweak that? All right, recycling. Town shall operate a recycling program that accepts all properly separated materials generated in the town without fees. And that without fees, I know there's been discussion back and forth, but. I mean, it's certainly all surveys that have been done have said should be without fees. There's also. New subsidy coming in, what is it, 2027? When that law.
The first paycheck will come to
In
the town.
2027, so we're gonna get money back from the state
Right.
for recycling.
And if we were to charge for recycling, would that keep us from receiving those funds?
I don't
Hey, I
know.
don't know yet.
My thought is we should leave free in there, but as that's a point of discussion, I want to make sure that I'm bringing it up.
I would, again, I would leave it as free, and if it needs to change, then that can be brought up.
I think our recycling rates would go down if we were to charge
On that.
Oh, yeah.
you know,
Item section to this provision will be published on the, again, website. Separation, I think I picked that up, but maybe from somewhere, I think it was some last. Markets for recycling will change from time to time, therefore town manager with advice from solid waste director should periodically define categories of recyclable materials and how those categories shall be separated prior to processing by the town.
Yeah.
Right now, it's the
Right.
corrugated cardboard.
Says processing, not having.
I'm gonna have you do proofreading of everything I write from now on. Any change of definitions and instructions will be publicly announced at least 30 days prior to effective date on the website.
Should we just say shall be published at least 30 days prior? Publicly announced, and it sounds like the town crier is gonna.
Oh, I'm gonna see Brian in a tricorner hat.
Al Legger, did you? Al Pine.
So we all set 8.2 with those couple of changes. Designation of recycling center shall designate specific facility as its recycling center. Solid waste director shall advise town manager of written rules governing the availability and operating of the recycling center, including days of. Oh, it should say days and hours. I got that one. Days and hours of operation. Reasonable fees for non-recycling materials, inspection of material and other matters pertaining to the day-to-day operation of the facility. The operation of the facility shall conform to all pertinent regulations, directive, all local, county, state, federal agencies which may have jurisdiction. These rules should be published in the town website, and any changes to the rule shall be announced. Announced there, so that's, we will,
And you got the typo on matters, so,
where is it?
the top
all makers.
Names, like all the makers. Private recycling facilities. Now, this is here specifically because of the barn. They do recycling and it's something that they should be able to continue to do. There are people that still like burning them, that's fine. All this says is privately owned and operated within conform to all pertinent regulations and directives of local, county, state, or federal agencies which may have jurisdiction. Such facilities shall also hold the town harmless for any liability arising from the operation of their facility.
This really silly question here.
Yeah, no, please.
What is a recycling facility?
There is
Recycling
a,
materials.
Let's put it in the definition.
there is a,
No, it says-
I don't have the chapter in front of me, but there is a difference between recycling center and recycling facility.
Okay.
One is the collection of, one is the sorting of.
So recycling facilities, collection, recycling.
Yeah, I don't have.
Is it defined in state statute?
Yeah.
So what are they? All privately owned and operated recycling facilities as defined
Chapter 400 is what it's.
by, oh, and I referenced that chapter 400 by its,
So I guess where I was going with that is, actually, wasn't even thinking about the barn initially. What I was thinking about was, there's a few folks around town or surrounding areas that
The redemption centers.
select metals and other such things.
Mhm.
And would that be considered a recycling facility? So that was kind of where my head was going. It's just like someone who collects a bunch of scrap metal, and I know there's a guy in Bowden who does a pile of it. Right. Would that be considered a recycling? I don't know. It seems like a silly question, but I figured I'd at least throw it out there.
well, I think if we put in as defined by state regulations, if we put in as defined by state regulations, maybe that covers it. Kind of stuff, I'm sorry, yeah. Oh.
Does he do anything with it other than collect it and then take it to Grinnell or something?
I know that one person in town, yes, they either collect it and then take it to a metal recycling, or there's another person that will collect stuff and then also resell.
Yeah, because there's money in I mean, we get money from the metal
I
stuff.
wonder if you'd have to be a business to fall under that rule. I don't.
It seems silly, but I also don't want to go too far down this, rabbit hole, but it was just something that just struck me, I guess. I don't want to get too hung up on it for the sake of this conversation, but
Like the guy in Thompson who collects air conditioners,
he sells them, that's what he does.
Yeah,
but he charges money to take them, so that is operating as a business.
he is a business.
Yeah.
It's Ozone Eaters LLC.
All-
Commissioner, okay.
Yeah, all this is saying is really that if you're gonna do, and even that stuff like that in town, it's gotta conform to all regulations.
Okay.
And you've gotta hold the town harmless for everything that goes in there, so it's not really putting any regulations per se around it, other than saying you have to conform, and I mean, our hands are off of that.
I would like to go a little deeper with this.
Okay.
I think if there's gonna be another recycling center facility, whatever the case is, in Bodenham, I think they should have to report their tonnage to me. So when I do my state report for Bodenham, because I'm reporting for Bodenham.
Okay.
That's fair. You do the same thing for track, so why not for recycling?
Yeah,
Do you get reports from the barn right now?
I do not.
We've been waiting on the report. The solid waste committee was supposed to get reports from the barn recycling efforts. Ever since he restarted them, we never saw any.
Okay, I can,
Because otherwise my recycling rates look low
okay,
for the town. But the town is actually, recycling more than what I'm reporting to the state.
Would that include the Boy Scouts collecting cans and bottles?
no,
They've never, it's never went there.
Would it include Dunbar's D and D?
Right, no, we've never received anything.
cans,
There's a tractor trailer backs up there
Yeah, absolutely.
every so often.
cans and trailers are, or cans and bottles. Are they recyclable, or because we get deposit on them, is it something different?
It's getting recycled.
And, cause there's no way that I would recommend that we make the Boy Scouts do any of that.
The other thing is, whenever I get rid of mine, I take them out of town anyway.
Yeah, no, Hannaford, like,
Yeah, so I mean, you don't get into that stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I can borrow some of the language
I think that anything that,
from the 7.3.1.
I think anything that changes my report to the state should be reported to me. That way I can add it into Bodenham's tonnage.
I'm gonna grab
If it gets,
some of the language, say, it will say all recycling facilities must report to solid on activity each year based on reporting parameters established by. So I'll borrow that language and add that sentence to the end of that. Does that work?
Yeah,
So that gives you something. I'm not sure that you're gonna have a lot of luck with compliance, but at least it puts something there so you have something to discuss with them and say,
because, Riverside Waste Management, Kevin Smith, they all have to report to me once a year.
and you've been trying to get numbers out of the barn, but you haven't been able to, correct?
The committee, the committee asked for that information, and it was never supplied.
it was the pilot program, to see what what they could collect and separate out this and that, it was like a cell phone and give us, we never got anything.
So everyone okay if I put reporting language, just borrow from the.
Yeah.
Residential disposal permit,
I thought this was a great one, it's a great thought, my only question is. Do we also want to put this under, 7 as well, because if it's a transfer station, you probably want something similar.
or
Just,
move it up into 6, so it's general.
Yeah, even better.
But have the language in there. Delivered to the transfer station or recycling, so.
Okay. That'll get moved. Definitions. Just.
So thanks for doing this work.
Thank you. Just so you guys know how I went about this, I went through and you can see this is my red line copy, and all the yellow was, I saw, oh, that's a term that maybe needs to be defined. I'm not sure I caught all of them, and as we talked about, maybe I didn't. But that's how I did that, and then I went back to just piece that I wasn't sure we were ever gonna use, and I did. That's all the other towns that we had, were all their defined terms. Going from Chelsea that has 2 to West Gardner that had none, to Reedville, which had like 30 of them defined. So then I went on here, said who has it, I checked on a couple of them, I said, oh, I like that one, I don't like that one, and grabbed something. So
I'm hesitant to say this, but for the definitions, I wonder if we should go with the state's definitions. Because chapter 400 has a definition for most everything.
I have chapter 400 all printed out in a folder at home.
Right, exactly, and that's what mine is.
I can check with chapter 400.
I know after doing, I just. I don't want somebody to come back and say, well, the state says you have to do this, and you have this.
Well, we've got a clause in here that says that the
Right,
state,
yeah,
state
yeah.
trumps, always. Hate to use that word.
See here.
But whatever's in the state, I can also double check. I just made myself a note, I'll double check with the 400 stuff. And if there's anything that's really not in line with the 400, I'll change it and put it 400.
Actually, I got it.
Oh,
I can't write up.
cool.
Let's see. Let's just grab one here real quick and see what it says.
Some of the stuff, like biomedical waste, a couple of them had it and it was the same language, so I figured they pulled it from someplace.
So the state does not even have that one listed.
Okay.
Well, they should.
So anyway, but, biomedical, like I said, there were a couple of them, they had the exact same language, so I figured they found it somewhere. And it may be in another state statute, or it may be in a federal statute that's not 400, another state that's not 400. Like cystotoxic chemicals. I honestly, I don't even know what cystotoxic sounds. But as they talked about it twice, I figured it had to be important.
Must be a thing.
Bulky waste. Large, I pulled this from somebody else too.
So my only question on bulky waste
Mhm.
is there's overlap between bulky waste and white goods, and is that okay?
Yes, there is overlap. We use both terms because bulky's got more than just white goods.
Yeah, I'm not,
Um,
I'm not saying I have a problem with that, I just want for you to bring it to discussion, like, you know, square is a rectangle, what a rectangle is a square, I mean. They can be two different things, and
and they're both shaped with
yeah,
four straight sides, yeah.
so, okay,
I,
perfect,
I'm
I'm good with it, I just figured out.
I'm good with whatever you guys.
Right.
Okay.
Does not include universal waste, which is not defined anywhere.
Okay, and it says refrigerant containing appliances, and you did say refrigerant containing appliances. This is a,
Right.
Brian, you do take stuff that has Freon in it, don't you?
Twice a year. Right
Right.
now,
All right,
once I become a transfer station, then I can take it daily.
What if we just strike out,
I'm
does
striking
not
out,
include universal waste?
I'm striking out everything from the et cetera. Includes, I'm gonna put, but not limited to.
Once you do take refrigerants, would you take it to the guy? The Freon, oh no, he comes to me. But, okay, so
And does he pay you for the refrigerator?
no, we're gonna charge
But
the
he
people.
takes it off.
No. He comes in, he sucks down the Freon
Oh,
from the units, and then I take the units and I sell them as metal goods. Yeah.
Okay, so. It's gonna say in the parens includes, but is not limited to old furniture, carpeting, appliances such as stoves, dryers, and washing machines. And parens. Or is further defined by the rules and regulations of solid waste. So again,
Yeah.
it still puts everything in Brian's hand to change.
good.
Codes enforcement officer, like I said in my email, I couldn't find anybody that had that, but we do refer to it a couple of times. I just grabbed for codes enforcement, for town manager, and for health officer, I grabbed definitions off of the code new website. I don't even know what E911, emergency 911 addressing officer, I have no idea. Commercial hauler, collection and trade, I grabbed that from somebody else. There were a couple of them, this was the one that was simplest, because some of them talked about they do it for profit, and you know, what if they're not making a profit, or if they're not breaking even, you know,
Do we need to make a distinction between commercial hauler and municipal hauler?
if we're gonna talk about municipal hauler, yes, we would need to put that in.
Change
But we
municipal hauler
changed
to
it.
town appointed hauler, and
Okay,
thing
and that will go in here. Town appointed hauler.
Do we need to?
That's the question, we don't need to.
So our current municipal hauler is Plum.
Mhm.
That's what he's referred to as.
But,
And then everybody else is commercial hauler.
Right,
yes,
I,
but if, let's say we take this inside. Our municipal hauler is gonna be us, or our town appointed hauler is gonna be us.
right, it would be.
Or if we change it to somebody else, it's gonna be,
If we were gonna revise commercial hauler and all, I would say any person, comma, other than. The municipal hauler or town appointed hauler engaged in the collection. Maybe we don't even need to do it. I don't know.
I mean, we could put other than town appointed.
Does that mean, I'm asking the question, does it make sense to do that or? Doesn't
I
matter,
don't know. I'm okay either way.
because the municipal hauler, town appointed hauler. Is engaged in the collection and transportation of solid waste for a fee.
Mm.
That's interesting.
Because the commercial hauler is the same, pretty much the same exact definition of our.
So-
But when you think about let me think through this. Plumber is our municipal hauler right now. They do collection for a fee.
Yeah.
We just say in here that commercial haulers have to be permitted and pay a fee based on the schedule that Brian comes up with. So if Brian comes up with a schedule that says town appointed hauler fees as per contract, or no fees. No, town appointed hauler doesn't have to pay us any fees, but does have to, I mean, that can all be done in his fee schedule.
When I see solid waste for a fee, I'm assuming. People who have the dumpster at their house or have to
Yeah.
pay, that's,
Yes, Riverside or the dump guy would still, because they charge you to come. Once a year kind of thing.
So Pat, are you pretty much just suggesting any non-town appointed person engaged in that? Is that really what you're suggesting?
more or less. I like
Okay.
it, I
I
said
think
that,
that-
And plumber does it for a
How many is that?
Hey,
right,
Compostable materials. We talked about that, do we want them together or not? Just simple. Materials that can disintegrate into non-toxic natural elements at a rate consistent with similar organic materials. So we're not talking about something that's got a half-life of a really long half-life.
Yeah, like those compostable trash bags that you see listed.
Yeah,
They compost. Takes 3 years,
yeah.
but they compost.
I think there's another place that eliminates.
Is that kind of flushable wipes? Yeah, you can flush, right? They clog everything up, and you can flush it.
Yeah. Construction waste. Resulting from construction, remodel, demolition of structures. Does not include asbestos or other special wastes.
or special wastes. You have to find these here.
The state does have definition of special waste. You know that one for a fact.
Yeah. I'm gonna see it somewhere.
So we just put in special waste as defined,
Yeah,
as defined by state. Should we put in that, even though we have it in other places, so it may be redundant? Debris resulting from construction or demolition of structures within the municipal town limits. I mean, we've got it elsewhere, so we may not need it there.
I don't think you need that.
Okay. The force majeure. Again, I tried to keep it as simple and straightforward as possible. Goods left roadside. Now, this is a new one. Nobody had it. I mean, we've got it right now. We've been talking about doing it. I noticed there's one that's still on the Ridge Road. I think it's going on its 3rd month out now. So it's either.
I think this was a great addition. When the one thought I had on that was removing most often.
The reason I put most often in there, because I went back and forth on that.
Yeah,
So here, sometimes people put a little sign that says $5 on it or something. So if we don't say, if we just say for free, then I can put a sign on it that says $5 and I can leave it there for 3 months, like the guy that's got the shower surround down on Ridge Road. So that's why I put that in there, but I started it exactly, I think, where you are, just, they put it on the side for free. So with that logic behind it, what do you think?
I definitely see where it comes from. That's a tough concept to get across in a sentence or two.
Yeah, and that's why I said most often, because most
Yeah.
times people do just leave it out and it's for free.
And
But,
it disappears.
and it disappears, but if someone puts $5 on it, do we wanna, that doesn't apply, I don't have to get rid of it in a month.
Right.
Yeah,
A quick sidebar, I put something down, put a sign on it, says, if you take this. I wouldn't object if you brought me a whoopie pie.
And that's other consideration, so that's not free, because that's other consideration, I love that. So okay to leave it most often without
yeah,
cost, okay?
and see where it comes from.
Health officer. Right now, individual with medical training appointed by the town to monitor and provide recommendations regarding situations that may jeopardize the health of town residents.
Sounds like it came off the website.
Actually, it did, I made that one.
It was good.
Hazardous waste shall mean waste by reason of its composition characteristics, and this did come from, I think a couple of towns said it the same way. Characteristics or other inherent properties is dangerous to handle by ordinary means, because I know you handle the ballast stuff, which may present a substantial endangerment to public health or safety, includes all materials designated as hazardous by federal and or state statutes or laws.
Statutes.
I'm gonna send it to you first and say catch typos.
Hazardous waste, the body of the definition begins with shall mean, and we don't have that in any of the other definitions. Take that out. And just say waste which by reason.
Inert substance, I think this actually came, did one of them? No, somebody said it. And that's people that just say they want clean fill, Sure. And I think the most important thing is does not chemically or biologically decomposed, including but not limited to sand, gravel, bricks, and or rocks. Lawn waste. Now, what did we decide? And here I did put down, does not include construction waste, plastic bags, or other plastic containers used to collect, store, or transport.
Grass leaves, plant cuttings, garden waste, shrubs, branches, trees, and unfinished wood. Yeah,
Unfinished wood. I put stumps out.
I would take out that whole may also include sentence.
I would take out the shrubs, branches, trees, and unfinished wood.
Right.
And put that under,
Grass leaves, plant cuttings, garden.
Yeah, that's a whole other.
We don't have a wood
Yeah.
waste and we don't have anywhere in our ordinance where we refer to wood waste.
I think
So
we called it wood waste. Something or other.
We said it could be burned at home.
Yeah,
We didn't include it in
we
these.
saw a list of the trees, tree limbs, leaves, and or other wood waste. So we actually do use wood waste.
So do we want another definition category?
I
for
think
wood
that'll
waste?
be enough. That'll be acceptable at the transfer station.
I think so too.
I think that works, and then if we do have a definition of wood waste that's going to include tree limbs. We get rid of tree limbs from 6.2 as well.
State definition, wood waste. Means brush, stumps, lumber, bark, wood chips, shavings, slabs, edgings, slash. Sawdust wood from production. Wood pallets that are not pressure treated or visibly contaminated. For the purposes of this definition, lumber is entirely made of wood and is free from metal, plastics, and coatings. That's the state definition. Yeah.
Okay, so the thing is, they've got to work together.
Yep.
So wood waste, we talk about shall burn or incinerate within the town any solid waste other than tree or other wood waste.
Says you can burn.
It says you can burn it, but we also were talking about in lawn waste, that's wood waste that can be burned. In lawn waste, we were talking, stuff that Brian's.
Lawn waste, we don't need to include anything.
Now, hold on, let me finish, please. That includes what Brian was talking about. He wants to he's willing to take some of the limbs and stuff as long as he can chip them. So, two different things. One would burn wood waste, one we accept at the recycle center. So, how do we put that in definition? I mean, lawn waste, garden waste, you want to eliminate the rest, then what are you going to say with regard to what Brian wants to take?
Just make a definition of wood waste.
We have wood waste over here already. So another definition of wood waste.
I think wood waste should fall under, as far as. Not saying we'll take it, but that will fall under acceptable materials, which may change from time to time at some
We
point.
don't have an acceptable materials category. So are you suggesting we add more definitions, even though we haven't used the term elsewhere?
It could be as simple as acceptable materials will be materials designated by the. It may be changed from time to time by the solid waste director.
Okay, so we're defining a term that's not in the ordinance. Where would you want it in the ordinance?
Well,
Because they're starting to get a little
yeah,
complicated now.
here's my thing. Lawn waste, grass, leaves, plant cuttings, garden waste,
Okay,
period. Does not, you can leave in, does not include structures. And then wood waste would be shrubs, branches, trees, and other unfinished wood. And because it says wood waste under 6.2, you can burn that. And
okay, yeah,
at some time in the summer, when he puts out things saying we are now accepting certain wood waste things, branches, you can bring those now to the recycling. I just hate to pin us down saying we will take this certain material, we will not take that. I'd rather.
yeah, we don't want any of that in the ordinance itself. That's why we keep referring,
Yeah.
see the lists that are online or call.
Because the lawn waste, as I defined it graphically, that would, basically, that's compostable material, which would go. Not saying it combines those two, I'm just saying that's what it would go to the recycling center as compostable material.
Underline does not include construction waste, plastic bags, or other plastic containers used to collect, store, or transport lawn waste. I think we can take out construction waste there, but I think we don't, does not include plastic bags.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or
If
leaves.
you want your plastic.
Yeah, so many people put leaves in bags and stuff like that.
No, that's fair.
All right, so we now have another category, wood waste. I'll grab some of the definitions and I'll look at the state one. But we don't anywhere say where we're going to accept it. Wood waste, we've already talked about, we can burn it. So in the ordinance, now,
Do we have to say we accept it? Because we've already said you can burn it, and it's. The term wood waste is there, and that's why it's in the definitions.
And if it's on the list of stuff that's accepted. It's on the website, then it's good.
I agree. That's
I mean, you're probably gonna have on the website, we do accept, we do not accept. Just like you got it on the,
I mean, currently we're accepting Christmas trees. For chipping,
Excuse me.
although nobody's.
Recycle program. You know what, let me ask a question in the recycling section 8. Should we put recycling material? Since designation of recycling center, should we have, you know, a section there says material to be recycled?
What do you got?
I'm in the ordinance itself, section 8.
A whole new,
All property recyclable materials. Items subject to will be published in the town's website and change time to time. Okay, so it wood waste, when we talk about wood waste, should we say recyclable materials may also be included in recyclable materials? So in recyclable materials, okay, got it. It took me a minute. I'm just gonna, in the definition for recyclable materials, add wood waste. Okay. Non-standard rubbish. Includes but is not limited to bulky waste, construction waste, and hazardous waste as defined above. Also defined by reference material posted on the town's website. Any thought on the non-standard rubbish? Person, this comes to, I think this was a discussion that we had last week. Person, corporation, partnership, sole proprietor, et cetera, legal entities, so that covers, I think, what we talked about. Okay, recyclable materials. Materials to be determined by the town manager under advisement of solid waste director and can be reasonably separated from household, commercial, municipal, including but not limited to scrap metal, plastic that is recycled, symbol on it, corrugated cardboard, mixed newspaper, or and and in that list, I can also add wood waste.
Mhm.
Again, a more complete list on the town website.
Instead of saying plastic that has a recycling symbol on it, could we just say certain plastics?
Why would we
Because-
not?
Again, thinking down the road, I think there's gonna be at some point a big change in how plastics are handled in this country. And the current system of the symbols may be replaced by some other.
So we're not
Right.
sure what's gonna happen. It's maybe at some point in the future, and I know right now, because I know
Yeah.
Cassie and Jacinda are really onto it. When I bring stuff in, does that have a symbol on it? So,
And it's not, are they taking anything that has a symbol, all numbers? Or only 1, 2, 5,
I would say no, 1 through 7.
1 through 7? And that may change.
Oh, sure.
but
So
Why don't
it's
we-
not gonna be anything that has a symbol on it, it's gonna be certain
okay,
Right, so,
identified.
so some towns only accept 1 and 3, or 2 natural and 2 colored, or,
Right,
like West Gardner, they only accept number 2 plastics. That's it.
yeah.
Something else.
so Paul, what you're talking about is a change that may happen at some future point. We don't know where, we don't know
Right.
when, we don't know what.
Right.
Why, right now, the people that are manning that are looking for that symbol. I mean, that is what they choose right now. Why don't we leave it in here now, and as it changes in the future, as it changes in the future, we would take care of that.
Yep, we can do that.
I mean, I hear what you're saying, but I'm thinking that planning for something we don't know about versus what they need right now is to, because I know they're very good at checking that. rubbish. For ordinary conduct of business or housekeeping, excluding recycle and compostable materials. So that. I mean, changes in separate. I declined the notice on so. Pale. Why, are you okay? All right, I'll shoot him as soon as I can.
Yes. You can walk on crutches.
Oh, you call them, I'll be right home. Love you. Bye. I gotta go.
Okay.
Something's going on, and no idea what it is. He wants to tell me I have to be home.
No.
Paul, can you take over the rest of it and let me know so I can take care of that?
Oh, sure, we'll consider the letter. We'll need to contact that, so.
Yeah, please do.
Go sign right there, alright. Rubbish. Any comments on that one? No. Alright, select board. No, okay, that's good. Solid waste, useless, unwanted, or unwanted, or discarded solid material with insufficient liquid content to be free flowing, including but not limited to rubbish, garbage, scrap materials.
Yep.
Yeah, I see it, Paul. Junk, refuse, inert fill material, and landscape refuse, but shall not include. I see it there too.
Septic.
So,
Septic
yep,
or
Well,
something,
some of us,
or maybe septic,
some of our septics have seepage.
you know.
septic tank, I'm kind of thinking. Just saying septic tank waste, because septic tank sludge is different than septic tank waste. I don't know, where you
Well-
go stops.
Septic tank waste might be liquid, we're talking about solid waste here, so
Yeah.
it would be sludge.
There are other things in septic tanks too,
Yes, like disposable diapers and
like your
unflushable waste.
that are labeled flushable, right?
What if we just say, yeah, septic waste?
Okay.
So I actually, just 2 days ago, I received an email about this very thing. There's a contractor coming from another town to do a septic system here in town. And they wanted to know if I had a place that they could haul all the leach field they're taking out.
Yeah, you need.
I do not.
Licensed, that needs to be a licensed operation, and I'm pretty sure. The state's gotten rid of a lot of those, you gotta go to Brunswick if I recall correctly.
To dispose of it.
Yeah. Brunswick Sewer District takes it, and a few other places.
Okay, I was thinking Norwich Walk, but I haven't even responded yet.
He's, I designed those systems, you know,
I was gonna tell him yeah. I'm gonna tell him to hold the turtle on or somebody that's, in the area that does it.
yeah.
We say agricultural, biomedical, or hazardous waste, you don't have any definition of agricultural waste. What is it? There's no other towns that have it.
Let's see if the state does it.
And it was basically pesticides, I think.
Would that fall under hazardous?
I mean, of course,
That's what I was thinking.
agricultural waste.
Agricultural waste, for sabatis means waste resulting from the growing of vegetables, fruits, seeds, nursery crop, poultry, livestock, field crops, cultivated or pasture hay, and farm woodlot products.
Boy, that could be chicken carcasses and pesticides and a lot of compostable stuff.
So the state has a definition of that, and it's that long on my little phone yet.
So we need to add definition for it though.
Okay. It's a lot of words. You want me to email it to you?
Do we want to use the state one? Do we want to use the Sabatis one or something similar to it?
If you can just send us the link, we can look at the state one and decide if it's too cumbersome.
Okay.
Is it mostly about pesticides?
Well, let's see. Agricultural waste means waste that's tiny print. Results from agricultural activities. The growing of vegetables, fruits, seeds, nursery crops, poultry, livestock, field crops, cultivated pasture hay, farm lot wood products, including Christmas trees, that are returned to the soils as fertilizers. It includes waste pesticides when generated by a farmer, provided that the waste pesticides provided that the farmer triple rinses each empty container in accordance with departmental rules and disposes of the pesticide residuals in a manner consistent with the disposal instructions on the pesticide label. It does not include any material regulated as a residual under 06-096.
That sounds hazardous and toxic. I mean,
Sounds like Sabatis is like the first sentence of that.
Yep.
And then we stop. Oh, sorry. Or,
Yeah.
but. Yeah, I mean, we're not defining solid waste, so that can include a bunch of stuff.
I'm kind of thinking we're stealing the Sabatis are. Yeah. All right. Solid Waste Committee, volunteering board consisting of individuals appointed by the select board who are responsible for evaluating and providing advice on solid waste matters to the select board.
Like to change volunteer to paid.
Stipend.
Do we want to change it to solid waste and recycling matters?
Yes.
Yep.
Solid Waste Director, duly appointed town official responsible for overseeing the operations covered by this ordinance and the operations of the transfer station and recycling facility. We want to add that. Because right now, Brian doesn't have a transfer station. So to and.
Yeah,
And is it recycling facility or recycling? Is that what you are?
I am in a recycling facility
Okay.
right now.
Okay.
Next week I could be a center. I don't know.
Okay. Town of Boneham, County of Saginaw, State of Maine. Assuming no comments on that one. Yeah. Town manager, individual appointed by the select board who acts as chief executive and administrative official of the town and is responsible for the day-to-day operations and functions of town government. The town manager is responsible to the select board, we'll do it without the space, and is an appointed official under contract. That's fine. Okay. Town's website, internet site owned and operated by the town to provide information to the general public. Current town website can be found at https://boneham.com.
does website need the hyphen there?
I do not know.
I don't think we've seen it anywhere else.
We'll have to look at that.
Yeah, that's one word, I believe.
Alright, so we'll do that, the definition as well. Transfer station. Facility in the town constructed and managed by the town for storage and placement of waste in large containers or other storage methods held for movement to another disposal facility. Must be licensed in accordance with applicable Maine state law.
Seems good.
Okay.
You want to know what the state says? transfer station means any solid waste facility constructed and managed for the transfer of solid waste.
Duh.
Use that one,
To the point.
and then we want to keep the last sentence though. What's that last line here?
Yeah. To be a transfer station, have to be licensed. Yeah, right,
So
licensed,
that's what I'm saying, is that it could also,
redundant, but whatever.
A licensed transfer station must be licensed.
white goods, large appliances including but not limited to stoves, refrigerators, washing machines, dishwashers. And air conditioners. Like that's all of them. Do we miss any?
We don't want to go to definition of recycling facility. Were we, just because it's referred to in the ordinance?
Brian, you have a distinct definition for recycling, similar to the transportation, because I didn't get much. But
So in the ordinance, it says designation of recycling center. Should that be facility?
So I'm in chapter 400, and I actually need to look at that definition in chapter 402, which I don't have up right now.
how would you find recycling center?
In
Oh,
the
there,
ordinance,
8.3.
8.3.
Can the definition for recycling center be as simple as a facility that will receive recyclable materials as defined in the definitions?
So
Recycling facility or center, is that? What are we, what are
I
we?
think it's facility, because one of them sorted, the other one temporarily held. Based on what you were saying earlier.
Don't mind that.
But
Because it sounds like there is a technical state definition, the one you were saying earlier.
what was the rest of your plans?
It was just recycling facility to be a facility intended for the intake of recyclable material. Yeah.
I'll pull something guys. Ryan gets there. Get it there. We've heard everything. I'm not getting there. You can find it on the state website later. So any wood waste, were we gonna? That I added to the wording of the wood waste, yep, thank you. So, an agricultural,
I'm looking at the list of other towns' definitions, and I don't see recycling facility or recycling centers anywhere.
Well, that's in cycles. That's
Recyclable materials.
Most towns have a transfer station. Bowden has a, Bowden, all they have is a dumpster. But other than that, most towns have a transfer station.
I think we do need recycling facility, but we also refer to as a private private recycling.
Reed Field
facility.
has it.
That's right.
Let's see what Reed Field has to say.
Yes, because the old barn is functioning as a recycling facility. So I guess.
Private one,
I don't want,
so yeah, I think you do need definition. So recycling facility, wood waste and agricultural waste. Is there any other ones that we missed? And we're changing. Technically changing the
Recycling facility, this is Reed Field. means any facility constructed and managed for separating, collecting, and or processing of manufactured materials for reuse, either in the same form or as part of a different product.
That's a good one.
So see, wrote something else.
You read film. Put it in the ordinance as that, see, you
Go to read.
And special waste. Did we decide that we need definition for special waste? Well. Because that was under construction waste. For the last word.
Special waste was other special waste as defined by the state.
A special waste as defined, okay, so we don't need that one.
But, the whole list of. Just let's see what special waste starts there and it's all over. Sand glass grid, high and low pH waste.
So we don't need to accept that. Seven. At night, I'm just gonna go through notes. I think that's it. I do kind of want to go back to, I'm gonna be that back on what I we addressed Tuesday. I've been holding off on this one because I didn't want it to be a distraction. 6-1.
Dumping.
Dumping. The first. Pat, you were here for that one. When I first brought it up, you kind of tabled it. My question is, okay, I'll just read it. No owner, occupant, tenant, or leasee of any property in the town shall deposit, store, or permit to accumulate any solid waste other than trees, blah, 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 blah. What is any solid waste? How should that be interpreted?
Solid waste, you've got a definition of solid waste.
But I'm referring any solid waste. Specifically. That's the part I'm hung up on. It's the word any. And maybe I'm just being overly nitpicky, and so just tell me.
It says basically you won't do it.
What is that, 2 trash bags?
Right. Is that a bunch of white goods that someone has picked up from people that is. Eventually gonna take it to, a metal recycler?
That's yeah, that's the part I'm hung up on, right?
Yeah. Cause I see that. Often.
That's the people who have their rust fund and their scrap metal pile.
And there's the house Pat and I drive by every day that has a end of that too.
Yeah, and I personally, I don't wanna tell anybody they can't do that.
And then there's people who have part lawnmowers out back. Is that it just
Boneyard, yeah. I'll saving that lawnmower because it's got parts I want to use eventually. That's where it gets sticky and imposing.
oh, what are your thoughts?
Sticky. I'm almost tempted to say. Leave it as is, and the enforcement can be at the discretion of local authorities. Because what we're really concerned with is people stockpiling stuff that might be hazardous.
And we've all gone past a certain house that has trash had 50, 60 trash bags stacked up. On the east side of the road. And we don't know what was in them. Could have been trash, could have been leaves.
We don't know a house on Moose Road that still has a slew of trash bags spilling out of the garage.
Yeah, on the west side of the road. You guys need to get your road in order.
Oh, you too.
Well, that means code enforcement could go and knock on the door and say, hey, clean it up.
Yeah. I had to do that once. I actually received a complaint from an individual on the Richmond side of the town line. Complaint about a Fodenham resident on our side of the line. Individual had went out back with an excavator, dug a hole, and was starting to bury everything.
Oh, so that sounds familiar.
So I didn't handle it at that point. It went to codes. Darren took over and he dealt with it.
So someone snitched.
Yeah, the guy in Richmond.
I was ready to say, don't listen to anybody from Richmond.
And he was concerned because he has wetlands in his backyard and he was concerned about it getting into.
I might have said something myself.
So I guess the other part of it, reading this again here.
Yeah.
No owner, occupant, tenant, or leasee of any property in the town shall deposit, store, or permit to accumulate any solid waste other than trees, tree limbs, leaves, or other wood waste upon his or her property that is stored or
That
disposed
is not stored.
or disposed of in a manner prescribed in this ordinance or any other local. So if you store it in a manner prescribed to this ordinance, I guess having a bunch of trash bags on your lawn may be okay because that's not dumping at that point in time. And you don't really get into what is an acceptable means of storage. I'm not suggesting you do. I'm just saying, does this, I get feeling I just might have talked myself in a circle. Because now that any doesn't really mean as much anymore. Because that is just saying you can't bury any trash. It doesn't.
Nor should you. I. And I'm looking for a pitfall in this. It's like someone who does allow 50 bags of trash to accumulate them. You think of rats and things like that, and then that would definitely
Count that.
help us.
Or somebody who chickens catch Asian bird flu and die and he just piles the carcasses behind the shed.
Yep.
That would be a health hazard.
We talked about that's somewhere around.
Well, it would be hazardous.
Okay,
Do we have a definition of hazardous?
we do.
Yes.
I think I just talked to myself when I was, right out of that. So
And does solid waste include recyclables or does not include recyclables?
No, because it would not waste. Recyclables are not nice.
okay.
Got trash and dirt.
And then my on that one now.
So, yeah, so my example of someone who has a bunch of metal. That's not solid waste, that's recycled. Yeah.
In the
It's
dump.
useful,
It's useful.
not useless.
Yeah,
It would be okay because they're not burying it. And we're not saying you can't store it in that manner anywhere in here.
Yep.
So, okay. So I just didn't want to get too overly burdensome.
Is there anything else that people like stockpile that wouldn't necessarily be a health hazard, but would be a concern some other ways?
Yeah, the meeting you weren't here to talk about cars for quite a while,
Yeah.
actually.
Abandoned vehicles.
And that got brought up. The guy applied for a permit effectively to do that, and I remember it turns into a junkyard or something, and if you have too many vehicles, and then they're talking about removal of fluids, but that's kind of taken care of by the land use ordinance.
Right. And the state also has a mandate where you cannot have more than 2 unregistered vehicles on your property.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's with you motor.
When they say vehicle. What's vehicle?
I don't know.
If you take the engine out, is it a vehicle?
Is a snowmobile up here? Is an ATV? Sure is. It's a boat.
If you use it for transportation.
A vehicle, right?
Okay, so let's go open up your barn, Pat.
Yeah.
See right out of there.
The solid waste release will be.
I'll be up there 9 a.m. tomorrow morning for an inspection. What the codes do. Anything else that we?
We did it pretty hard.
You know, you get those changes to land use, you allow incorporate them and. Go to Friday, the hopefully. Would be. The planning meeting on the 24th.
24th, you know.
Tomorrow, we're going to meet here, well, tomorrow, too, we're meeting here.
Yeah.
Meet here.
Yes, we're gonna meet here except for film. All right. You know where the location is?
I do. I
How
gotta,
do you?
oh, I gotta be in Cape Elizabeth.
I should do it.
Where do you go? I
You're being talked to. No, so you'll be coming back up. Just-
Somebody wants to take a motion to,
Oh,
Let's do it your,
Aye.
all in favor?
get up and leave.
You adjourn.
I think it's not an issue.
Meeting has ended.
But yeah.
okay.
Let's see address. Those right, Lewiston. We're going bathroom over. Oh, somebody, I thought we were going back. No, I think we're going back.
No, we're going to the recycle, where you. Right now, all our recycled stuff goes to West Bath. West Bath trucks it over to Lewiston.
Ah, I thought we were going this bad. Okay.
Lewiston facility is where they sort it all out. Do all that magic.
So I heard it's really, excited affecting work and waste to a degree, wastewater. That Casella was getting out of the trash pickup business. I tend on asking them, which we already knew, by the way, because they didn't respond to our RFP.
Boy, I'd be surprised.
The pickup, the curbside pickup business, they do a lot of it. And the reason that I heard was, and I don't want to say this on camera because it's hearsay, well, I'm hearing it secondhand effectively, was that they're having issue keeping employees and having them stay for any duration, because what was explained to me is they hire someone, they're on for 3 days, they then go out on